Okay, we spent a lot of time only reviewing House of David because I really only have time to make one video a week. Subscribe so I can monetize these videos and justify putting the work into more of them. But let's get back into my usual swing of things with something silly, because I like silly. You may have noticed this, but brains are funny. And the connections they make, like the fact that Cars is a gender swapped Hallmark Christmas movie, that is also funny. Unless you didn't enjoy that video, in which case I'm a little bit sorry. I needed to fill the time. Sometimes you have one of those connections and you think someone else has definitely noticed this, but sometimes you're pretty sure they haven't because it's a weird one. Then you ask ChatGPT and discover that you're not a unique little butterfly, but at the same time you get proven very right. So during the pandemic, my wife and I watched the classic Cary Grant movie His Girl Friday. Now I recommend it. It is great. You may have to rewind sometimes because the dialogue is rapid. It came out in 1940 and it's still the world record holder for words per minute with an average of 240 words per minute. That is an average of 4 words per second. And there are portions with no dialogue. So that means they frequently just flew past that mark. But that's not important. It's just interesting. Anyway, Grant plays Walter, who is a newspaper editor who is still madly in love with his ex wife and former reporter, Hildy. She comes to his office to get him to finalize their divorce so she can marry her new beau, Bruce. Cary Grant just puts it off and puts it off, and instead, he sucks Hildy back into his world with the allure of a big story going on in their city. So he pitches it to her, and Hildy thinks, okay, I can do one last story, but that is it. Although it's His Girl Friday, so it's more like, okay, I can do one last story, but that is it. Day progresses, and the papers still aren't signed until Bruce realizes that Hildy still loves Walter and the life that he offers her more than she does him, so he lets her go. And Hildy and Walter get back together for better or for worse because they don't really establish that they have now worked through whatever it was that drove them apart. Now, I had never seen the movie before, but it does come up a lot when people talk about Gilmore Girls. And I'm married and have 3 sisters and 2 sisters-in-law, so people talk about Gilmore Girls a lot. But I did want to watch it. I do love Cary Grant, especially comedic Cary Grant. But the whole time that I was watching it, I was thinking this story feels familiar. It was just like this little nagging feeling. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And then I rewatched its unconventional remake. And do you know what that remake is? I'll make it generic to try to see if it'll help you guess. So, 2 professionals used to be married and work together, but it didn't work out and they separated. One stayed in the business and the other didn't. The leaver
Big lever.
comes back to get a divorce finalized for the purpose of remarrying. But the stayer sucks them back into their orbit via an exciting day at work. The new significant other willingly gives the lever up, and the lever goes back to work and gets back together with the stayer. Did that help? I feel like the improper nouns may have made it a lot worse. If it did, here you go. It's Twister. Twister, the classic 90s action adventure disaster movie, is a quasi remake of a 1940s screwball comedy. Yes, sure, there's a lot more action, but the characters follow the exact same story beats. It's kind of crazy. Like I said, I asked ChatGPT if anyone else had come to this conclusion or noticed these similarities, and yes and no. I don't know if anyone else came to that conclusion independently, but apparently, after the release of Twister, another writer sued Warner Brothers and Michael Crichton, right? And he claimed that he had sold a Storm Chaser movie to Warner Brothers years before, and they then had Crichton rewrite it without giving him the credit that he deserved. I can't speak to the veracity of his claims, but in court, Crichton admitted that he had intentionally based the story on His Girl Friday. Now, why he decided to do this, I have absolutely no idea. But it's real fun when you find an Easter egg the writer may not have wanted anyone to find. Anyway, you'll see me next time if you subscribe. Bye.